Hey guys, it's Tyron here again, and this is traffic talk. This is what I try and do so that I don't lose my mind in the traffic every single morning. Just chat to you guys about some questions or thoughts or whatever comes to mind, just to kind of keep myself a little bit distracted. So while we're sitting in this traffic, we're trying to get off the highway at the moment. Let's see what happens. Let's roll the intro. There we go, that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. And we're coming up to an off-ramp here. Traffic at the moment is sucky as almost always. But anyway, like I said, let's just chat to try and keep ourselves from going insane. Let me tell you guys a couple of facts about me, which should be helpful just so you guys know who you're dealing with. You guys have seen his face before. You might know the name Tyron, you might know the name Odly Otter. Some things you won't know about me is that I actually live in the south. Let me explain that so you understand where these are coming from. I live in the south of Joburg, but I work in the north of Joburg. This here, so that helps with the sun. Nope. I work in the north of Joburg, hence the traffic. This is like a 45-minute drive, which sucks. Anyway, other cool things that you won't know about me is, while I am a Christian, which you guys do know and have seen that in other videos, I have a diploma in theology. Actually, I studied it. I studied Christianity kind of towards being a pastor at some point in my life. Started studying that a couple years ago. I only have my diploma. I haven't got my bachelor's, not yet at least. I'm 3 modules shy of my bachelor's, have my DPH at the moment, and I plan to finish that off. It's just depending on time and resources really at this point. So that's something that you guys wouldn't know about me. Something else that you might know is that I'm married, and I have been for the last 5 years, so that's pretty cool. Something that you won't know is that I actually have a baby boy at home. He is 5 months old. His name is Malachi, and he's pretty cool. He keeps me up at night sometimes, but he's pretty cute, so I like him. You know, as fathers do their children. Other facts that you might, well, no, let's not talk about facts. Let's talk about video games. Right, let me tell you about some of my, if you guys had to ask me 3 video games that you really should play, I would say Half-Life 2, or Half-Life, the whole series, to be honest, the Portal series, and another game called Alan Wake. The whole premise behind Half-Life, and I'll go through this super quick. There's a dude called the G-Man who's floating around every once in a while. He comes to a facility where you work, and you're a scientist, a really smart guy. You're running experiments trying to figure out how to do, like, hello truck, how can I help you? Trying to figure out how to, like, create portals for, like, transport and stuff. He brings you material. He's like, this will help make things, accelerate things a bit further on. You're like, okay, we're willing to try it because you guys have been hunting for this particular material, and he brings the whole chunk of it. You put it in a machine, switch it on, chaos ensues, people are dying, you randomly get teleported to another planet. People on that planet, or aliens on that planet, look at you like, who and what are you? And everyone freaks out. You end up back in the lab, and you guys see all the chaos that's ensuing, and you're like, I'm gonna bail out of here, gonna get to the surface. You're like in a facility that is huge and massive, so that's kind of the whole premise of the game, is to try to fight your way out. While you're doing that, because of these portals that have been created, there's like it's unstable. So aliens just start randomly generating and popping up all over the place, and there's aliens throughout the whole map that you're trying to fight the whole game, and you're trying to fight your way through. And I enjoy it. It's got a bit of a puzzle element to it. It's pretty fun. Once you get to the end of the game, you end up going, spoiler guys if you haven't played this game by now, you end up getting put into like a stasis. So there's a huge gap between 1 and 2. You come out of stasis, you find out that a whole war broke out while you were gone, and Earth lost that war, so now everyone's under the oppression of these aliens. And the second game is kind of about trying to loosen that grip that these aliens have on Earth. Very fun game. Like I said, there's a bit of a puzzle element. It's a first-person shooter, so there's a lot of action. There's also a decent bit of a scary element that happens every once in a while in the games, where you're like by yourself in the dark trying to fight these aliens and zombie type creatures, which is quite fun. I enjoy that. They did a Half-Life episode 1 and episode 2 as well, which were really fun. Same type of premise. You guys are just again trying to fight away these aliens, and what happens is at the end of those ones, there's supposed to be a third one in episode 3 or Half-Life 3, which is an online joke. I'm sure you might have heard that joke. Everyone's always waiting for Half-Life, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. All the writers for that have left Valve, who made it, and they've moved on to other projects. The main writer who wrote the story has left recently, and when he left he said here's some fan fiction on kind of where they were thinking of going with the story. So it doesn't seem like it might be a game. If it is, I don't know, we'll see. Okay, hold on, I gotta find a taxi. Okay, we're good. Other games, Portal, which is in the same universe as Half-Life, but a competing company that also is trying to make portals. It's like a race at this point in time. You kind of end up in the space where you don't know what's happening, you don't know where everyone else is, you're just running experiments with these purely puzzle based. So you get like a gun that creates portals, and you're trying to solve the puzzles to progress. You find out as you go through this game, again spoilers, you find out that the machine that's kind of in charge of everything, called GLaDOS, is a bit of a psycho. She just loves running experiments. She enjoys seeing how you do them, but she's also got a bit of a murderous streak, which is kind of unfortunate for you. Once you find that out, you're trying to escape. And so the first game is about you escaping, and then there's another game after that, also kind of about you escaping, but a lot more focused on what's happened at Aperture Science and why things seem so crazy. And there's this really cool part where you see the ship from both games in Half-Life episode 2 and in Portal, where there's a ship called the Borealis, which is basically where these worlds are supposed to come together. But like I said, if they have left, the writers have left, I don't know when that's going to happen, if it's ever going to happen, but we can always hope. Another game that I really enjoy is a game called Alan Wake, and if you don't know this is another, let's just throw in another fact there about myself, hashtag always plug. I have a blog where I do some short stories. I do a lot of writing on there. The short stories are quite fun. I kind of ask people to give me suggestions every month. I take those suggestions, I squish them up, and I spit out a story. I do that once a month. I do that, I do a whole bunch of other things on the blog, but I just enjoy doing writing. So coming back to Alan Wake, it's about a writer, which is I think the reason I like it. You go away with your wife as this writer to a cabinet, kind of trying to get away from the pressures of the, you know, city life kind of thing. And while you're there, someone seems to get into the house and kidnaps your wife. So the whole premise is you trying to get your wife back. But as you do it, the world kind of seems a bit unreal. There ends up being these creatures that exist. They're like the dark ones, and the only way you can fight them is using a torch to like blind them and like burn the blackness off of them. It's like a weird tar substance, and that makes them weaker, that you can shoot them and they die that way, which is kind of cool. You have to balance the light thing with your normal fighting style. And as you continue through it, you also find pieces of like a manuscript that as you read seem to narrate the story that you're playing. So it's kind of like self-narrating, and it seems that as you read these, it sounds like you, as Alan Wake, wrote it, but you have no recollection of it. And the story kind of progresses. It's just the way that the story is told is why I enjoy it, because it comes up in a very in-depth way, and you have to kind of apply your brain. And here comes an intersection where everyone's hooting. Loud noises! Okay, let's just edge forward, edge forward, edge forward, edge forward. But anyway, that's Alan Wake. It's a good game. The story's amazing. The gameplay is quite fun. There's an expansion that I haven't played, but those are 3 games that I would say if you're looking for something to play, they would be a bit on the cheap side. You can pick them up and give those a whirl. Just on a side note, there is a metro cop trying to turn left while we're trying to turn right, and he's skiffing me out broken because I'm talking, and he has no idea because he can't see the camera. Okay, clear the intersection. What are you doing? Get out of the way! Red car! Okay, I've fought enough traffic today. Almost at work, so thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in another one. Trying to do these maybe weekly, and bye!